Ever since I made my first guide to increase your resource gaining efficiency, I've had a lot of people commenting on my videos and in my live streams about how to make a proper and effective and powerful farm account. So if you already have a farm account, in this video I'll teach you how to make that account more effective to increase its resource gaining capacities. If you don't have a farm account, I'm also going to teach you how to make a farm account and also starting from scratch. So in 10 minutes basically, I'm going to teach you how to make probably 30 to 40 million more resources on your farm account per month. And I'm going to teach you how to make a good farm account if you don't already have one. So let's just quickly give a quick rundown what a farm account is. So you can see I'm on my main account currently. My main account is my big boy, basically. This is what I use to fight people, crush people's skulls in KVK because I'm that powerful. With this account, I transfer the resources from my farm account here. So when I use a farm account, basically I'm gathering resources to give my main account to fight other players. The more effective your farm account's, the more resources your main account gets, which means the more people you get to kill. So to create a farm account, first you have to go to your player settings, click your governor profile and the settings button. Then you click characters. It's important to note you can't have more than 2 characters per kingdom. So if you've already got 2 accounts in one kingdom, then unfortunately you cannot make another one. If you're about to migrate to a kingdom, then you should make 2 accounts in that kingdom and then migrate. And if you've only got 1 account in a kingdom, you can already make one. What you do is you go to create new characters, you scroll down to whichever kingdom you want to go to, and you create an account there, and then that account will allow you to access a farm. That is basically a farm account. It's a second account, and you can access it by just going back into your settings, clicking your characters, and then swapping to it. There's only 2 ways to my knowledge to bypass the player character cap. First, the easier way, I guess, is to make a whole new email and switch your account and log in with like Facebook and Google every time, which can be annoying, but it's an option. Or second, you can migrate an account into your kingdom and that bypasses the character cap. So that's just the 2 ways you could bypass it. I know people who have like 10 emails linked to 10 accounts and they just swap between every single one, but I hate doing that and it's kind of time consuming. Now I'm going to switch over to my farm account. I'm going to get right into the nitty and gritty of how you make a good farm. Here's my farm account. It's 7 million power, and I log in about 2 times a day on average. It's got 140 million resources in the bank right now, and that's from about a month worth of gathering. So I think that this is quite an efficient farm account. So now I'm just going to get straight into one thing that a lot of people do get wrong. That's the civilization of your farm account. You can see here, there's some people with the Viking civilization, or there's some people who've got, there's another Viking civilization. Pretty sure this person's a Chinese civilization. There's a lot of civilizations here that people are using on the wrong account. So when you're making a farm account, you want to choose between 4 civilizations. So the 4 civilizations depend on which resources you care about the most. When you're making a farm account, you should know which resource you're going to gather the most on it. I personally gather stone and wood. So I decided I would go for the Byzantium civilization for their 10% stone gathering speed bonus. That sounded like a Rise of Kingdoms ad read, I promise it's not. So this 10% stone gathering speed means I gather stone faster on my farm account, so I want to gather more stone on my farm account. I'm not going to use the Roman civilization on my farm account, because common sense dictates if I'm not gathering food, I don't need food gathering speed. So let's just quickly go over every single troop. There are infantry, cavalry, archers. Those are the main 3 troops. Archers take stone and wood, cavalry take stone and food, and infantry take food and wood. So if you're maining either of those troops, you should probably have a farm account for each of those resources. That means when you make your farm, you probably should have it set to a civilization that gathers one of the resources that you need the most. Now, if you're gathering gold, then you have to use the Japanese civilization because there is no gold gathering civilization at this moment. The Greek civilization may change that, but I doubt it. So if you need gold, you use the Japanese civilization. If you need stone, you use the Byzantium civilization. If you need wood, you use the French civilization. And if you need food, like I said, you use the Roman civilization. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward there. Next, I'm going to go over technology and stuff for your farm account. So we'll start off with buildings, actually. When you're upgrading a farm, I honestly don't recommend you should go past City Hall 22. At City Hall 22, you've probably spent about 200 million resources on your total base, and you unlock your 5th dispatch queue. That means you can have 5 marches out farming at all times, basically. After that, you have to spend about another 400 million resources to get yourself to City Hall 25, which is stupidly expensive, and I just don't think it's worth it. The only reason people argue you should go to City Hall 25 is to gather the higher level nodes in Season of Conquest KVKs, but I don't like doing that for 2 reasons. A, I don't think it's worth 400 million resources, And B, it's going to put my farm account at more risk if I will go to sleep and I wake up and then one of our zones gets taken over. There we go, farm account gone. This way, I'm sitting in the home kingdom and I'm safe and I'm still able to gather level 6 resource nodes. Like that's a level 6 node, level 6 node, and level 6 node. So I don't actually have to worry that much about my farm account. Now, beside your city hall, there are a few buildings you should try and focus on. First, unlike the main account, your trading post is actually quite important on your farm. It reduces your tax rate, which means you get taxed less when you're trading resources between your main and your farm. So getting your farm account to at least level 22 is probably your best. Even 21 is pretty good, but 22 is worth it. The only other reason City Hall 25 may be good is to get this up, but 6% tax rate isn't that much, and it won't be the be-all or end-all. Then see these buildings like your farm, your gold mines, your lumber mills, and your quarries. These are more important on a farm account purely because farm accounts need those resources. You won't be logging onto your farm every minute of the day, I'm sure, so having more production per hour that you're not online, just passive production, is really nice, and I do recommend that. And unlike your main, I don't think you need to worry about your siege workshop and all these training buildings, purely because you don't need that many troops. Like, I have 600k troops on my farm. It's actually too many troops, and I don't even need them. So I do like having these at a lower level, unless you're filling flags. Now, another tip while I'm in the city and talking about buildings is to go onto your tavern every day and do your legendary chest. Doing a legendary chest, you have a 10% chance to gain up to 5 million resources every day. So that's just really nice and just something everyone should be doing. It takes like 2 seconds of your time. And then now for research, you can see I've focused quite a lot on economic research for my farm. Like, I've gone in and I've maxed as much economic research as I can. I'm working on getting my scythe up. I mean, I don't need it, but I am doing it. And I've got my machinery as high as I can get it. So all these things matter. What doesn't matter for a farm account in most situations is military technology. Here, it's expensive in resources. It takes a lot of time to do a lot of these upgrades. If someone comes along to a farm and they're like, all right, I'm going to zero this thing, your farm's dead, okay? If they know what they're doing, your farm will die. No matter how much technology you have on your farm, unless you take it to like 50 million power, your farm is going to die from someone swarming it. Really, what I think you should do is get to T4, get cartography to 3 out of 5, and then you go back here and you get pathfinding to 5 out of 5. That's it. That's really all you need in terms of military technology. Purely because T4, they're good and they've got a nice load capacity. And then getting the cartography and getting pathfinding up means that you can like run faster to each resource node, and also you're a bit faster on the field, I guess. But that's not too bad. And then in terms of economic technology, I think you should get mathematics and engineering at like a good position, maybe like 5 on both of them, just so you get a bit more speed when you're upgrading things. But then again, you probably don't care about speed ups on your farm since you don't have to be that efficient on it in terms of like upgrading things. Now, talking about commanders, which are very important, gathering commanders are your main focus, obviously. When you're looking at gathering commanders, here are all the gathering commanders. If you have a really early farm account, I don't recommend having gathering commanders that are legendary on it. You may think, oh, legendary commanders, they must be the best. The issue with legendary commanders on a really early farm account is A, they cost a lot more experience to level up, B, they need gold stars to level up, and those are hard to come by, and C, they need gold heads to level up their skills. You can't level up a legendary commander skills as easily as I would like Centurion or even Matilda. Once you get enough gold heads from doing gold chests and just logging in and stuff like that, then you can start to consider some of these legendary gathering commanders, but until then, they're very expensive and probably are not worth it in comparison for going instead of like some of these blue commanders, which are a little bit better. Once you get all the blue commanders to at least level 37 purely because this is the final level of the gathering tree, then you can consider working on these commanders, and then I would say that's when they become worth it. Now, one thing I also want to note with commanders is the formation. Really easy, super easy. You just select yourself the line formation, done. 10% gathering speed. That's just easy. And then a command I want to talk about is Constance. You get her really easily. Log in, go to your expedition, buy her heads. That's it. She has 3 gathering related skills. One is just 10% resources, one is gathering speed, and one is troop load. She's really good for gathering. She's definitely one of the most powerful gathering commanders, and she's definitely super easy, especially if you got a young farm account to max. I maxed her like a while ago, so trust me, she's definitely an easy commander. Best epic commander would be Joan, because she's got the best gathering speed, because it applies to every resource in comparison to like Matilda, which is only stone, or like mainly stone, and Queen Tamara Georgia, which is mainly wood. Going for Joan of Arc, she applies to every resource, and that's probably the best commander there. And then also, the epic commanders don't cost too much experience, and you'll be rolling in epic heads soon enough by just doing like, you know, those events that come around where you claim the points and get some levels on chests, and your alliance may get some levels on events. So before I go any further, I'm going to quickly discuss alliances. Simple. Alliances provide territory bonuses, which are great. They also usually have alliance credits, and with alliance credits, you can go in and you can actually purchase yourself some alliance like resource nodes, which are really powerful, and I do think these are really important. You probably will want to put your troops in here when you go to sleep. You just send your strongest commanders, fill up a march, and just send it in there. There you go. And then you'll get like maybe 1 or 2 million, whatever resource it is. So that's really nice as well. Now, a quick tip if you've got a new farm account, what I like to do sometimes is I go down to the shrine next to my city, and I like to fight these guardians. If my account's too weak, I'll march like one of my main accounts. I'll march like 1 or 2 marches down, and I'll attack the guardians with my farm. And in that way, I'll get about 150,000 experience points per day per commander, which is really, really good. But sometimes it may be tough to do these because people may compete for them trying to get them first, and unless you've got a set time, it gets a bit tough. But I mean, if you do have like a less active kingdom in that regard, then going in and getting all of these guardians is really nice. Now, one thing I also want to discuss on like topic of experience points is expedition. Like I said, you can get Constance heads in here, so I just maxed her from doing that. I just bought like a crap load of her heads. And also you can get resources. You can see I bought the resources here. Plus you can get speed ups and also some generic epic heads, or getting like an epic gathering commander. You can also purchase those. But the main thing is when I log on every day, I just click this chest. There we go. I'm up 100,000 experience points in tomes. Super easy, super quick, and super, super efficient. Pushing to about level 50 or as far as you can go is perfectly fine. I'm probably going to do another push and push to level 60. So definitely a good idea to try and push expedition as much as you can. Also, barbarian hunting on your farm. I mean, it's an option, but it's a bit difficult and is a bit more time consuming than just gathering. But if you fight barbs consistently every day, you're probably looking at a couple million resources extra per day, or per week, sorry. So I might start doing more barbing on my farm. You can see I don't do it too much. Final topic of discussion today is equipment. So equipment for farm accounts is pretty simple. Like literally the most simple. You go in, you go to the sets, you go scroll down to the blue, you click harvester set. There you go, you just max as many things for the set as you can. Getting a harvester set is really, 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 really good. You're looking at 30% gathering speed for a full set, plus 20% troop load, plus a bunch of siege stats. It's much cheaper than the epic set, which is 6 million a piece, and certainly much cheaper than the legendary set. Epic set is actually slightly better, and maybe a little bit better in value, but the thing with the epic set is it's very hard to get these pieces. Like, I've rarely gotten any epic pieces. My main account has 1 epic piece, and that was the gloves, and that's it. But getting these harvester sets is so easy. I just go in, I go into my VIP shop, which I'm not sure where it is right now. I just go into my VIP shop, I scroll down, and there we go. I'm up half a blueprint. Done. That's it. And then I log in, I do that every day on Monday, and I can make myself a full epic set about once per month. So having a full epic set is really high value, it's really cheap, and I do just try to make bones on my farm because that's what you need to make those epic sets. Now, if I bought you some value with your farm account, if I increased your efficiency by giving you all my secrets, then please consider checking out some of my other videos. I have more guides, especially I've finished my Archer Commander guides, and I'll be making more guides for all newer players. So if you do want to hear more about that, then do subscribe, turn on notifications, or join the Discord where I will link everything I'm going to do, and I'm very open about what's coming next on my channel. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.